Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome to Cosmo Muse Tarot and another one of my glow up readings. What glow up are you coming into next? And my intention with this is that it's one that is arising or coming for you or out of you in the next week. So something like right on the horizon. So we are going to pick a few cards from the Visionary I-Ching deck for you guys to pull or choose your pile from. If you are feeling sort of like a lot of beautiful energy arising in you, feel free to pick multiple piles. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling a glow up coming, maybe wait a couple days and come back, or maybe you just feel called to one, whatever feels right to you. Okay, one more. Ooh. And oops. Okay, so these are our three piles. Put this away. So pile one, we have conflict, sky above, water below, and it's the 6th hexagram in the I-Ching. And just remember, this is around a glow up, so this won't be, you know, conflict. Whatever comes in that reading won't be interpreted negatively. Pile two, we have extended family. It's the 37th I-Ching, or hexagram, I mean. Wind above, fire below. And pile three, we have repairing the damage, mountain above, wind below, and it's the 18th hexagram of the I-Ching. Okay, so feel into these three piles, holding the energy of some kind of glow up right on the horizon. Again, feel free to pick multiple, or if you're just not feeling it, come back, you know, in a few days and see if something changes. Okay, once you're ready, timestamps are in the descriptions, and I will see you in your glow up readings. Hello, pile one. Welcome to your glow up reading. You guys picked the 6th hexagram card of conflict, sky above, water below. And this is actually one of the most beautiful cards, and I'm really excited to see what comes out of this glow up reading. So this being the main central theme of your glow up, this hexagram in its shadow is conflict. Because this is a glow up, this is indicating coming out of a place where tensions are off, where give and take has been off, where exchanges have been too slack or too tense, and an inability to find kind of harmonies in exchanges and a sense of sort of peace and diplomacy and balance. So the glow up that is coming in is like this new understanding settling in of like, there's nothing to be defensive of. I can drop my defenses in order to create, like play off of tensions that can sing beautifully. You know, if you're to tune an instrument, there is a certain amount of tension needed in strings or whatever you're tuning in an instrument to play notes that harmonize well, where they're not, you know, if they're too tight, it's kind of sour, or slack is a little dull. But like tensions can be beautiful. And when they're playing out beautifully between people, it means that there's an equal amount of giving and receiving, of listening and speaking, of, you know, the exchanges are dynamic and flowing, and there's just like this, yeah, just this nice kind of energy of exchange coming in, and in an even higher state, you know, because like harmonizing is creating sort of a peacefulness, but there is this thing you can drop into where you just become peace. There's nothing left to harmonize. You just sort of embody this peace quality where there's you know, this greater heart opening and this greater sense of sort of ego and self dissolving into really identifying with all of life. So if you were to turn the news on and, you know, you see certain people going through things, it can be really easy to be indifferent because it's not you, but like really being able to just feel what's going on. In that space, not that you feel peace when you see, you know, hard things going on in life, but when you kind of come into this boundaryless place and you feel this unity with life, there's nothing to defend. It's like your ego no longer exists. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing to be tense about within you. And I feel that coming through some moment in life in the next week, like coming into a greater maturing and understanding of that kind of energy, but also like a phase of life about to unfold where it's just like easier for you to understand how to harmonize certain things, how to create right exchanges, and then to just drop into, you know, with that piece established, just like a relaxed boundary and just a sense of peace coming out of you. So really, really beautiful and mature kind of glow up coming in. Okay, let's get a resonance card to get a little bit more about this. Look at that union. You can't make that up. It's just that feeling at one with everything. The energy of union activates our ability to unite our outer and inner aspects towards a state of wholeness. So this giving a little bit more insight too of like what you feel inside of you and what is going on outside of you is coming into that right harmonizing, like you've been doing maybe a lot of working with tensions of your inner and outer world. And something is getting harmonized here. And suddenly these things are starting to match in this really beautiful harmony, and you're able to kind of like drop any defenses there and just relax into life, really mirroring who you feel yourself to be inside. Really being able to hold, yeah, just a sense of wholeness with life, because inside of you and outside of you are just, you've done a lot of work, and they're now mirroring each other in just this beautiful way. And it just, you know, tapping into that world wholeness, it just brings this sense of wholeness into you, and that wholeness feeling very peaceful. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's get a Priestess of Light. You guys, you can't make this up. Balance, stability, standing firm. But that, to me, that balance is talking about that sort of inner outer tension where you've found this way to be who you are in the world, in alignment with who you are inside of yourself, which also shows an amount of confidence. So often we can actually use that tuning, that harmonizing things to our detriment, like trying to harmonize too much to other people's opinions and expectations. And this is indicating that you've worked really hard to stay true to your inner values, what's important to you, and try to work with the outer world, find places in the outer world, find matches in the outer world where there's an alignment there. And this is indicating you've done that well. Not only have you figured out this way to really make your external world match your internal world, you've found this way to really uphold your inner values and stand up for yourself, and that making you feel more firm in yourself and more stable in yourself. Gorgeous. I love where this has gone. Okay, let's do a few tarot cards to get a little bit more insight here. Okay. Ten of Cups, that is all about being able to hold the whole of everything with a very complex, wide boundary, and being able to feel the wholeness of everything, and in a certain peacefulness and centering of knowing who you are. In holding these broad boundaries, everything organizes around you. Instead of things feeling like chaos, they start to organize around you by their selves, just by how you're holding yourself with a certain peacefulness. Wow, really beautiful, you guys. Strength. Yeah, and this again is like really knowing how to, there's like a balance thing coming in here again, a harmonizing thing coming in here again, of like really knowing the moments to listen to like soul and intuition versus ego and, like willpower, like really understanding at any given moment what is the best thing to pull forward, and how to kind of marry these two and get them in alignment, pull them into alignment, intuition, soul, and ego working together in a beautiful way. This is so dynamic. It's like inner, outer world, intuition and soul and ego, inner values and standing up for yourself and being, harmonizing life in accordance to what you know to be right, and really standing in your center and allowing life to harmonize around that peacefulness you're coming into. Just so gorgeous. Okay, one more card. Feeling this one, Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Wow, so amazing. You got Nine of Cups and Ten of Cups and strength. Like, this is crazy to me. Really beautiful reading, but this definitely showing some kind of wish fulfillment coming through here. Let's do one last divine. I was debating on whether or not I would do a divine feather message, but with this Nine of Cups, that confirmed to me, like, I want to know what that wish fulfillment is, and this might give some insight. So we have Falcon. Use your keen perception and skill in making decisions. Do not delay. So some self-directed decision, some decision you make coming from a place of peace and harmony and stability and strength. You fulfilling your own wish fulfillment. You stepping into your power and making some kind of decision from this like really stable, peaceful place that that you're meant is, it says do not delay, like, so, that brings in a wish fulfillment. Yeah, so really gorgeous, beautiful. All right, I hope this resonated. I wish you luck with this glow up coming in. It's so beautiful. I would love to hear in the comments, not your comments, my comments, in the comments, if this means something to you, what pops into your mind with this, if you know what it's about, especially this with, the wish fulfillment and some kind of decision. All right, if it did resonate, I always appreciate likes, shares, subscribes. I already said comments are great, especially kind and thoughtful comments. And I wish you good luck with your glow up, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your glow up reading. You guys picked Extended Family, the 37th hexagram of the I-Ching, which is Wind Above, Fire Below. And this is the theme of your glow up. And these hexagrams don't always, on face value mean what they say. So what extended family in this instance is indicating actually has a deep connection to one of the really beautiful, strong qualities of the yin energy. So yin being kind of the more feminine, dark energy, yang being the more masculine, light energy. there's a quality of tenderness in yin that this has to do with, that is maybe taking you out of this place of looking at equality from a place that's a little bit tit for tat, like I do this, so you should equally do this, you know, like I do the dishes, so you do the cooking, or, you know, like whatever it is, or I do dishes these days and you do dishes these days. It's sort of like really reimagining through the energy of tenderness what true equality or actually equity really means. And when you come through heart and tenderness, it really transcends sort of tensions and sexuality that get involved in relationships in terms of like that equality stuff, and really focusing on people's strengths and roles you can step into in your community, so you can practice that in your own sort of familial life, like what are your strengths, and so how do you step into your role in your strength and let other people step into their role in their strength. And when that can be done on, you know, a family unit level, that's like creating soil for broader communities to kind of model that and really have a more tender approach to equity in communities. And it really comes from this place of tenderness. And so like really starting to understand what it means to create thriving community, and playing to people's strengths, and really kind of dropping these, I don't know why melodrama came to mind, but melodramas of what our roles are in the world, and you know, certain people need equality in certain ways and this and that, and just kind of like dropping the whole pretense of it and just looking at individuals on an individual level and like, where is your strength? How can you step into a role and contribute based on that strength? And when everybody does that, it kind of takes away from that even like capitalistic and bartering and weird value associations and weird tit for tat things, and it just becomes a more caring environment. Everyone kind of just dropping into an energy of tenderness. And so there's something that you're starting to really understand about the energy of tenderness that you're coming into a glow up in, that I think will go on. You know, to me, this is a glow up that's not just like here this week, and that was fun to have that glow up. And, you know, sometimes those glow ups are a little bit transitory, but sometimes they're indicating like a new understanding coming in, a new maturity coming in. And I feel that for this, a new maturity and understanding coming in of what it means to have tenderness, and how that is the model for creating societies that are thriving and fertile and create sort of that feeling of a really fertile and caring family unit in a broader sense. Just being tender enough to see who does what well, play to those strengths, step into the roles you're meant to step into. It's not so much about racing to get ahead and making life this race that our societies have created. Really easing into this energy of tenderness. Yeah, it's really beautiful and a very mature kind of energy to start really getting and playing into, and it can have a ripple effect. Your understanding of this and playing to it and, you know, using this energy affects how other people start to understand it, and it does create a chain reaction. However big or small that ends up being, it's meaningful, and it creates better soils for societies and communities. Okay, let's get a little bit more about this through a Priestess of Light. healing the heart, power of self-love. Well, I love this. I mean, obviously tenderness is something that is from the heart. So definitely some heart medicine, some heart opening, some softening coming in. But this glow up may be also you being easier on yourself. There may be something you're needing to see that you're like, you know what, despite these roles that our cultures and communities drive us toward and label upon each of us, can I just melt those all away and drop into my heart and have tenderness for myself and say, what is it that I'm supposed to do though? Like, what is my role? What strengths do I have to contribute to community? And how can I see that as meaningful and beautiful and something to be proud of and something to be tender with and really open my life through, and just kind of melt off these codes and encoding around how I'm supposed to be in the world, what kind of roles I'm supposed to fulfill in the world. What is my power? What does my heart tell me to do? How am I supposed to contribute as a member of a family and of a community that's meaningful to me, hence then meaningful to all parts of that? But it's like if you can't find love for that, other people aren't going to love it either. But if you can find that self-love and that tenderness for what your strengths are, and shedding that you're supposed to have strengths in other ways, and just like really honoring what your strengths are and loving them and finding them meaningful to you, other people will also find those meaningful and really respect the role you feel compelled to take up, because it's, even if it's not understood intellectually, it's felt in a certain nourishment that it brings into kind of the soils of life around you. People can feel it intuitively and they'll accept it, you know? Okay, and then we've got duality. The frequency of duality supports our ability to gracefully flow with everlasting movement among all opposites. This may have something to do with like a certain strength. This is calling out to be more tender with and play to. An ability to see the duality and the polarities and the paradoxes of life, to see the multiplicities of things, to see the possibilities in everything, and like a really dynamic understanding of how to, it's such a theme coming up here, and it doesn't shock me because the day I'm right now as I'm doing this is a Libra full moon, which that's all about like harmonizing tensions and you know, polarities in general. And so I don't know, that's something coming up with this, is like really understanding how to harmonize things, how to dynamically flow between tensions and create harmony between tensions and create the right tensions, and how duality is a principle that allows there to be harmonizing, allows there to be something to use to create peace in a dynamic way, peacefulness. But maybe there's something you're needing to find more tenderness about in terms of your ability to understand duality and polarity and opposites and harmonizing and a certain dynamic fluidity between all of that. Yeah, interesting. You'll have to tell me in the comments how that resonates with you, what that means to you. Okay, let's get a few tarot cards to get a little bit of tarot insight into all of this. Woo! Two of Wands. Interesting. I feel like X marks the spot, like you're becoming clear about something here. A new path even. Six of Discs. And then one more. That one wants to come. Nine of Discs. Ooh, okay, okay. Yeah, something's becoming clear. I get this X marks the spot. Something's becoming very clear to you around this tenderness energy, and is feeling like part of like a new path that's calling you, a new kind of purpose that's calling you. And there's something about like reflecting back on life, looking back on old nostalgic memories, and you may look back and start to see patterns of your ability to work with duality and polarity, and how you do have this really heart-centered, tender energy with that, and really picking up the importance of that pattern that maybe you weren't ready to see or didn't know how to see, in a way to like use it in a way that this is indicating is going to give you a little bit more self-sufficiency, a little bit more purpose that feels beautiful to you, and feeling a lot more like at ease with like your, to me this is like talking about being really at ease with your role, and feeling a lot of self-worth through stepping into some kind of tenderness with this duality energy, and it being something that ends up really being able to make you feel your life as more fertile, contributing to your family unit, or your community as a family unit, or the world at large as a family unit, with a more tenderness towards a strength you have, towards a role you should be stepping into because it's a strength that you can contribute, is giving you just like a greater love for your life and a greater self-sufficiency at the same time as being, you know, like really contributing something. Like, to me this is like there's something that's like actually easy for you to contribute, and you just maybe have overlooked it. You like need to look back to like reflect back on life and be like, oh wow, this thing that actually it seems is so hard for people has been some like connected to something that's so easy for me, and it's created these really beautiful nostalgic memories. And now that I'm putting this together, I'm seeing how I can really step into this as a contributing role, and it feels easy and beautiful, and it supports me, and it creates flourishing all around me, because I'm allowing myself to live life more tenderly and easily. Yeah, that's what it feels like living, being able to step into a more easy role because of a tenderness starting to be felt for like what's natural to you, what your natural role is supposed to be. And so starting to find self-worth for that, and power of heart, and owning a tenderness for something you have maybe just overlooked as something to be tender about. But it's becoming clear. Yeah, some reflection is bringing a lot of clarity and a new path, and just a beautiful understanding of tenderness and heart and self-love, and yeah, something here. Okay, so to end this, we are going to pull a divine feather message as just a ending message from the universe for you around all of this. But really gorgeous, mature glow up for sure. Just really understanding what tenderness is, and playing to your strengths and other people's strengths. And that one wants to come out. Kingfisher, prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in the perfect form. And when you're doing something that is like easy for you to step into a role with and you love it and you're tender with it, like naturally creates flourishing. And that's just what I see here. You're about to step into more flourishing and more prosperity, not just for you, because we're talking about that broader sense of like a broader family, you know. You're creating prosperity, you're giving flow to prosperity all around because you're stepping into your strength with tenderness and self-love and value and ease. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this resonated. I wish you luck with this beautiful, gorgeous glow up. If it did getting all over my words here. If it did resonate, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Also, always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And I am wishing you guys a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your glow up for this week. And you guys picked Repairing the Damage, the 18th hexagram of the I-Ching, and it's Mountain Above, Wind Below. So this card holds the theme of your glow up. This week's glow ups are very profound and show a lot of maturing taking place in people. Glow up coming from like a maturing process. And the same is very much so true for your pile. This has a lot to do with being able to really see the mind for what it is and heal a lot of sort of mental turbulence that is held within it. A lot of encoding, especially in looking back in your adolescent years when our personal mental concepts kind of develop and our minds really develop. Something happening right now that maybe you've already been working really hard at would be my, what comes to mind here because of how profound this is like really, really seeing through how maybe your mind has been encoded during your adolescence. Things that encoded your mind during that time, where some turbulence came from during the years from 14 to 21. Maybe you're even in those years, but are getting like a new beautiful perspective of understanding the mind as its own sort of energy field, and really being able to see the mind as something that can help you, but not necessarily be the director for you. Like really being able to leave the mental field and drop more into your heart. And through that, find a greater sense of integrity and holding higher and higher sort of expectations and judgments about life and your direction, but through a heart space rather than a mental space, like getting rid of encoded mental energy and really seeing through your heart where your integrity is, and holding high standards there, because coming through the heart is such a pure place and sees so in such an integral way. And it's sort of an interesting thing because you're starting to see general integrity, and through the mental field, you start seeing more and more in the world that needs more integrity. And so you set higher and higher judgments and standards. But you've gained this understanding of how to do this through your heart, how to move into those standards and judgments and expectations from an objective and heartfelt place. And even coming to this place of, and this is where I see maybe there's like a big difference or shift that's happening, is perfectionism is something we often talk about as like a little bit negatively, like if you're too perfectionistic, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And that is true when you're coming from your mind. But when you're coming from your heart and your heart's integrity, perfection just is. It just is a state, and it just naturally arises. And I think you're finding how to hold perfection in a very different way, how to hold it as a presence instead of this mental construct and expectation that's muddled and creates mental tensions and anguish and difficult, self-speak and critiquing and, like all of these really harsh things in the mind. It's like coming out of the mind, moving into heart integrity, and then just having a presence all of a sudden show up in you that is perfection, that has nothing to do with the mind. And I think there's some kind of shift where at least this is happening in moments where you're getting glimpses of this, and it's like this very different shift of like really moving out of some mental anguish, but finding the same thing that mental anguish was beating yourself up about getting to, and realizing that it's not found in the mind what you're trying to do. It's found through coming through the heart, and all of a sudden you just show up in a certain way that you've been trying to use your mind to get to. So a huge shift from mind to heart, and a new presence of like integrity and perfection just being part of your aura kind of thing. And through that, holding high expectations in the world, seeing, because your heart's becoming more and more attuned to integrity and perfection, and holding that resonance in a beautiful, tender way, you see more and more where that's needed in the world, and you hold higher and higher expectations in the world, but that creates a difference. It pushes the evolution of things. Okay, let's get a resonance card to get a little bit more about this. Sixth chakra. Yes, just a knowing. This is also showing moving from like thinking mind to what's already like this inner knowing, intuition. The energy of the third eye chakra supports our inner sight and intuitive abilities. So like trusting your intuition over trying to mentally figure things out, like really being able to sit still and be like, what do I know is right? Where is my intuition telling me to go? And it being, I don't know, looking at this color, these purpley colors, indigo and purple colors, I felt this just suddenly, this deep clarity, but like a divine clarity on top of it, not like a mental clarity, like a divine clarity. Just, and it matches that inner knowing. I think you have like really, really in-depth, potent inner knowing, like a really strong connection to your sixth chakra, but it's maybe been a little bit clouded by your mental field, and you're starting to understand this and understand how to flip it and how to move from over thinking things and over stirring up the mental field, and just more dropping into this intuitive trust of knowing and your heart's integrity. Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, let's get a Priestess of Light for even more. Feel that one. Go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, receiving. Yeah, I love this. Our mind is the thing so often that gets in our way, that holds us up, that drops us into fear, that has us being hard on ourselves, that makes life difficult. And I feel with this going with the flow, you're really, and look at this, her mind, she literally has this sort of like flowing, unfolding, natural energy as like the, what what's it called? There's a term for it, but like nature has that spiral. I know like the Fibonacci code is connected to it, and I know the golden ratio is connected to it, but it's like this perfectly designed unfolding of life and beauty, and it's sort of like sitting on her like a hat, where it's like you're letting go of like overthinking and you're just letting things flow. Your intuition and your heart are taking over and kind of easing and relaxing that mental energy, and just like sort of like trusting your mind is strong, it knows things, and if you just trust your intuition, your mind will respond to that in a more natural, fluid way. It's really gorgeous. So I feel this intensity of your mind unwinding and actually functioning better as you let go of it. Yeah, really cool. Okay, let's do a few tarot cards to get deeper here. Let's see, 2 came out. We've got Princess of Wands, 7 of Cups, and Judgment. That's interesting because that's definitely a theme for this hexagram, but judgment in a positive way. But in the context of tarot, it's a little bit different. This does pick up on what I felt. I think you've been doing a lot of work. I think you've hit your head against the wall over and over trying to learn some lesson here about mental energy, and you've graduated it. You're seeing it. This is a huge you know, like graduating from a PhD program. This is happening. You've learned the lesson. This is a lesson you've gone through. You've passed it. And there's this feeling of like ascension happening as you really start to understand your mental field in the way you're supposed to understand it, and like really rooting out some encoding that happened. And through that, there's just new freshness, new potential and creativity, seeing the world through creative eyes that are very fresh and new, and a lot of opportunities coming because of that. A lot of new paths you could walk due to that. But I think right now it's just relaxing in the potential. At some point you'll have to make some choices about where to take that and where to focus that potential, but I think that's not right now. Just enjoy the fact that you're feeling a sense of potential arising, a new creativity arising because of this easing up, this new finding a sense of feeling perfection, being present in a sense of perfection rather than trying around perfection and thinking about perfection. It's really opening your creativity and more fluidity, and things unfolding, unfurling so much more easily, and a receptivity coming in, a much easier way of receiving in life as well, through stepping out of using your mind so much. Yeah, really cool. Beautiful. So, I mean, a really big mental shift here that I think is going to feel like night and day, and just like so, like blissful is the word that comes. Just life being flowing. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. Okay, to end, let's get you a message from the universe, from the Divine Feather Messengers, just a little uplifting message. And we've got Blue Jay. The time is right to access and master your abilities. Do so with humility and control. And this is what I see. I mean, it's just tapping back into this thing where I feel like you do have certain impressive abilities, but it's like you've been so in your mind about it, and it's like, excuse me, it's kind of like caught you up, and it's blocked you, and it's created self-sabotage and fears and judgments that come from the mind rather than integrity of heart. And as you sort of let go of that mental field being too active, like the way it got encoded in adolescence, being too in charge or too relied upon, suddenly those abilities that you knew were natural to you and that you just struggled with just suddenly become flowing and easy and present and perfect in whatever form they show up in, and just being able to let go of those mental concepts, and things just flowing so much better, and these abilities you have suddenly being able to have success and give you opportunities and find its creative potential and flow. It's really gorgeous, so huge. Wow, this week has blown me away. These glow ups were pretty pretty potent. Yeah, not surprising, because when I'm recording this, at least, this is timeless reading, but when I record things, there's always that energy kind of infused into the reading. It is an eclipse season at the moment, and literally the day I'm recording this is a lunar eclipse. So yeah, it makes sense that these glow ups are like really profound. Okay, anyway, good luck with this glow up. I'm very excited for you. I mean, it's just such beautiful energy. And yeah, if this resonated, I always appreciate all the support in very simple ways, likes, shares. If you're not subscribed and want more of these, please do so. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. And I will see you in future readings.